The airport announcement was still echoing when Madison looked at me and said, "Ryan, you're quiet. Say something." I forced a smile. "I'm just thinking." "About what?" she asked, squeezing my hand. "About how weird it feels standing here," I said. "You with a suitcase. Me pretending I'm okay." She laughed softly. "It's just a few months." Those words would haunt me later, but at that moment I nodded. "Yeah, just a few months. My name is Ryan Carter, and I've always believed love meant staying, even when leaving was easier. I worked long hours, saved every dollar, and built my life around the idea that patience always paid off. Madison used to say that was why she loved me. "You're steady," she told me once. "Like nothing can shake you." I believed her. The night before the flight, she sat across from me on our couch, knees pulled to her chest. "The university program is huge, Ryan. Europe, new classes, new people. It could change my future." "I know," I said. "I'm proud of you." She studied my face. "You're not mad." "No," I said quickly. "Why would I be? Some guys wouldn't be okay with this." "I'm not some guy," I replied. "You're my fiancé. I trust you." She leaned forward and kissed me. "I'll call you every day." I wanted to ask what would happen if she didn't, but I swallowed the question. At dinner that night, her friends joined us. Chloe Miller slid into the booth beside Madison and smirked at me. "So you're really letting her go abroad alone?" "I'm not letting her," I said. "She's choosing." Chloe laughed. "Wow. Mature." Jason Reed raised his glass. "To freedom," he joked, eyes lingering on Madison a second too long. She rolled her eyes. "Ignore him. Jason thinks everything is a joke." "Life's short," Jason said. "You should live it." Madison smiled politely, but something about his tone made my chest tighten. "You're overthinking," I told myself. At the airport the next morning, Chloe hugged Madison first. "Don't get tied down over there," she whispered loud enough for me to hear. Madison frowned. "Chloe." "I'm kidding," Chloe said. "Relax." Jason clapped me on the shoulder. "Take care of things here, man. We'll keep her safe." I met his eyes. "I know." Madison stepped closer to me, her voice softer. "You okay?" "Yeah," I lied. "I'll be right here when you get back." She touched the ring on her finger. "We'll plan the wedding when I return." I swallowed. "I'll hold you to that." The boarding call came. She hugged me tight. "Don't forget me." I laughed quietly. "That's impossible." She pulled back, smiled one last time and walked away. As I watched her disappear into the crowd, a strange thought crossed my mind. It felt less like a goodbye and more like the end of something I couldn't name yet. I shook it off, stood up straighter, and told myself love was about faith. I didn't know then that this was the last moment I would recognize the man I was becoming. The apartment felt too quiet the first night after Madison left. I stared at my phone and whispered, "Text me when you land." My phone buzzed an hour later. "Just landed. I'm tired but excited." I smiled. "I miss you already." "Miss you too," she replied. For the first week we talked every day. "Did you eat?" I asked one morning. "Yes," Madison said. "The campus food is amazing." "What did you have?" She laughed. "Relax, Ryan. Pasta." At night, I told her, "I can't sleep without hearing your voice." "I know," she said softly. "I'll call tomorrow." Tomorrow came, then another. The calls turned into texts. The texts turned into short replies. "How was class?" I typed. "Good." "What did you learn?" "Stuff." I stared at the screen. "Are you okay?" "Busy," she wrote. I scrolled through our old messages, rereading promises. "I'll always choose you. Distance won't change us." Those words felt heavy now. I called my sister. "Lauren, am I overthinking?" Lauren sighed. "Ryan, listen to yourself." "I trust her," I said quickly. "Trust doesn't mean ignoring your gut," Lauren replied. "Something feels off." "She's just adjusting," I insisted. "Or pulling away," Lauren said quietly. I hung up feeling angry then scared. That night, Mark came over with takeout. "You look like hell," Mark said. "I'm fine." "Liar," he replied. "How's Madison?" "Busy," I said. "But we're good." Mark raised an eyebrow. "Ryan, that's not how good sounds." "She's studying abroad," I snapped. "Things change." "People change," Mark corrected. "And sudden distance is a red flag." "I trust her," I repeated louder this time. Mark leaned back. "Trust is earned every day, man. Not assumed." I didn't answer. A week later, I woke up at 3 in the morning and checked my phone. No messages. I opened social media instead. That's when I saw it. Madison was smiling in a photo, standing with her university group. Jason stood beside her, his arm close enough to touch. She looked happy. Free. My chest tightened. I typed, "Who's Jason?" She replied minutes later. "A friend." "Why?" "He seems close." "Don't start," she wrote. "I'm not starting anything," I said. "I just want honesty." "Ryan, you're being controlling," Madison snapped. That word hit hard. "Controlling? I just miss you." "I can't breathe with all these questions," she replied. "You need to chill." "I'm your fiancé," I said. "I deserve answers." "You're acting insecure," she wrote. "I didn't sign up for this." I stared at the screen, my hands shaking. "So caring is a problem now?" She didn't reply. The silence that followed felt louder than any argument. I sat on the edge of my bed and whispered, "What happened to us?" My phone buzzed hours later. "I need space, Ryan." I closed my eyes. "Space from me?" "From the pressure," she said. I typed slowly. "I never meant to push you away." She read it but didn't respond. That night, something cracked inside my chest. I finally understood that love without effort becomes distance, and distance becomes excuses. I wasn't losing her all at once. I was losing her one silent message at a time. Madison stopped replying on a Tuesday. I noticed it because I kept checking the time. Did I say something wrong? I texted. No reply. "Are you okay?" I sent an hour later. Nothing. By midnight, my pride was already bleeding. "Please just say something." The next day passed the same way. Silence. I left voicemails. "Madison, it's me. Just call back." On the third day, I typed, deleted, typed again. "I'm scared. Talk to me." A week went by. Then another. I counted days like bruises. One night, my phone rang at 1:47 a.m. Her name flashed on the screen. I answered instantly. "Madison?" Her voice sounded far away. "Ryan." I exhaled. Thank God. I thought something happened. "Something did," she said. My stomach tightened. "What's going on?" "I can't do this anymore," Madison said. "Do what?" I asked. "Talk to me?" "I mean us," she replied. "You shouldn't wait for me." My heart started pounding. "Why are you saying that?" There was a pause. I heard her breathe. "Because things changed." "Changed how?" I demanded. "Did I do something?" "No," she said quickly. "This isn't about you." "Then explain it," I said. "I've been losing my mind." Another pause. Longer this time. "Ryan," Madison whispered, "I'm pregnant." The world went silent. "What?" I asked. "Say that again." "I'm pregnant," she repeated. "I didn't plan it." My hand shook. "Is it mine?" She didn't answer right away. That was enough. "No," she finally said. "It's not yours." I laughed, a broken sound. "That's not funny." "I'm not joking," Madison said. "I've moved on." My chest felt like it was collapsing. "Moved on? While we're engaged?" "I didn't mean for it to happen like this," she said. "Like this?" I snapped. "You disappeared." "I couldn't face you," she replied. "I didn't know how." "Try honesty," I said. "That might help." She sighed. "Ryan, I don't love you the same way anymore." Those words burned worse than the truth. "So that's it." "I think it's better if we end this now," Madison said. "End this?" I repeated. "You promised me forever." "I was young," she said softly. "So was I," I shot back. That didn't stop me. She stayed quiet. "Who is he?" I asked. "Tell me at least that." "It doesn't matter," she said. "Please don't make this harder." "I deserve answers," I said. "I gave you everything." "I know," she replied. "And I'm sorry." "Sorry doesn't fix this," I said. "Sorry doesn't erase months of lies." "I didn't lie," Madison said. "I avoided." "That's worse," I said. She started crying. "I can't do this conversation." "Don't hang up," I begged. "Please." "I need to protect myself," she said. "What about me?" I asked. She didn't answer. "Madison?" I said. "Don't do this." The line went dead. I stared at the phone until the screen went dark. Then I threw it across the room. My fist slammed into the wall. Pain shot through my hand, but I didn't feel it. I slid down to the floor and laughed, then cried, then screamed her name until my throat burned. "Madison." The door opened later. I didn't hear it. Mark sat beside me. "Ryan." I didn't look up. She's pregnant. Mark went still. I'm sorry. She said it's not mine, I whispered. She said she moved on. Mark didn't speak. He just stayed. I trusted her, I said. I believed every word. Mark put a hand on my shoulder. You loved honestly. That didn't save me, I said. No, he replied. But it will matter later. I shook my head. Nothing matters now. Mark sighed. This changes everything. I stared at the cracked wall. Yeah, I said. It does. That night, something inside me died quietly. The future I planned disappeared in a single call. I realized love without truth is just a lie waiting to explode. When I finally stood up, I wasn't the same man anymore. The one who trusted too easily was gone forever. Madison came back 6 weeks later. She texted first. I'm home. We should talk. I stared at the message for a long time before replying. Where? Coffee shop near the park, she said. Tomorrow. When I walked in, Madison was already there. She didn't stand. She didn't smile. She just said, Hi, Ryan. Hi, I replied, sitting down. You look different. She looked away. So do you. I waited. I needed to see you, I said. I needed closure. She folded her hands. I don't know if I can give you that. Try, I said quietly. Madison sighed. I don't love you anymore. The words landed clean and sharp. When did that happen? I don't know, she said. Somewhere along the way. Along the way of lying to me? I asked. She flinched. I didn't mean to hurt you. That doesn't undo it, I said. She nodded and gestured toward the door. He's waiting outside. He? I asked. The door opened and Daniel Brooks walked in. Tall. Well-dressed. Confident. Ryan, Daniel said, offering a hand. Nice to finally meet you. I didn't take it. You already know who I am. Daniel smiled thinly. Madison told me. Madison avoided my eyes. Daniel is the baby's father. I swallowed. Congratulations. Daniel sat beside her. Madison deserves stability. I laughed bitterly. And you think I didn't give her that? Daniel shrugged. Love isn't always enough. Madison reached into her bag and placed the ring on the table. You should have this. I stared at it. You wore that for 3 years. I know, she said softly. I'm sorry. Don't, I replied. Just don't. Daniel checked his watch. We should go. Madison stood. Take care of yourself, Ryan. I watched them leave together, my future walking out in silence. After that day, I stopped answering calls. I emailed my boss and quit without explanation. I slept until noon and stayed awake all night. When Lauren knocked on my door, I pretended not to hear. She kicked it open anyway. You don't get to disappear. I already did, I said from the couch. Lauren crossed her arms. You're coming with me. Where? I asked. Therapy. I'm not broken, I snapped. Yes, you are, she said. And that's okay. The office smelled like coffee and paper. Dr. Samuel Wright shook my hand. Ryan, tell me why you're here. I'm not, I said. My sister kidnapped me. Lauren glared. Talk. Dr. Wright smiled gently. Start anywhere. My fiancée left me, I said. Came back pregnant. Returned the ring. How did that make you feel? He asked. Replaceable, I said. Like I never mattered. Dr. Wright leaned forward. That belief will destroy you if you let it. So will pretending I'm fine, I replied. Good, he said. Then we're being honest. Weeks passed. I talked. I yelled. I sat in silence. One day, Dr. Wright said, betrayal isn't proof of your failure. Then what is it? I asked. It's proof of their choices, he said. Not your worth. I walked out feeling lighter. Not healed, but breathing. For the first time, I believed that losing Madison didn't mean losing myself. I was broken, yes, but broken things could still be rebuilt. I stood in front of the mirror, fists clenched, staring at the reflection of a man I barely recognized. This isn't me, I muttered. I can't stay like this. I shook my head, then dropped it. I'm not broken forever. The first morning of change, I woke at 6. My apartment smelled of old coffee and stale air, but I ignored it. I pulled on a pair of running shoes and jogged through empty streets. My lungs burned, my legs ached, but I kept going. Sweat and pain felt cleaner than tears. By the time I returned, my phone buzzed. A message from Emma Collins. Hey Ryan. Long time. Coffee? I hesitated, then typed, yeah, today. Emma smiled when I walked into the cafe. Calm, honest, steady. It's been a while, she said. Too long, I admitted. No lectures today, Emma said. Just talk. Good, I said. I need that. We spoke for hours. I told her fragments, not the whole story, and she listened. No pity, no judgment. Just presence. That was enough. After that, I began rebuilding. I enrolled in business courses online. I spent evenings drafting plans, analyzing markets, and planning goals. My old job? Gone. I didn't look back. Ryan, Mark called one afternoon. You're serious about this, huh? I can't live the old way anymore, I said. I need to control something, anything. Good, Mark said. You deserve it. Weeks passed. I pushed harder. Weights at the gym, case studies at night, networking with strangers, pretending not to care about Madison or Daniel. I didn't follow social media, but rumors reached me. Ryan, Mark said one evening, Madison's life isn't perfect. Daniel's controlling, Jason's gone. She's struggling. I sipped my coffee. And? Mark raised an eyebrow. Doesn't it bother you? I leaned back. No. I don't care anymore. That scares me more than anger. Mark frowned. You're not like her, Ryan? That's good. I nodded, feeling a strange pride. For the first time, I wasn't reacting. I was living. Emma called one night. You sound lighter, she said. I am, I admitted. It's like the weight's lifting. You're healing, she said. I just listen. That's all I need, I said. Every morning became a ritual. Run, shower, breakfast, classes, work on plans. I celebrated small victories, an extra mile run, a successful case study, a call with a potential client. Every step reinforced that I was reclaiming myself. One evening, I walked past a cafe and saw Madison and Daniel inside. She looked tense, exhausted. Daniel barked at her quietly and she flinched. I didn't stop. I didn't watch. I didn't care. That's new, Mark said when I met him later. You're not looking. I can't, I said. Not my life anymore. I texted Emma that night. Dinner? She replied instantly. See you at 7. As I prepared, I realized that freedom wasn't a loud declaration. It was quiet, steady, like breathing without pain. My past didn't vanish, but I didn't let it chain me. At the restaurant, Emma smiled when I arrived. Ryan, she said. You look different. I feel different, I admitted. For the first time in months, I feel free. Good, she said. You deserve that. I laughed softly. It's weird. I thought anger or revenge would feel stronger. Those things don't rebuild a man, Emma said. This does. I watched her smile, gentle and steady, and realized she wasn't saving me. She was letting me save myself. And that was more powerful than any anger, more satisfying than any heartbreak. For the first time, I felt the shape of my own life, mine alone. No Madison, no Daniel, no betrayal. Just me standing tall, choosing to rise. I leaned back in my chair, sipping my coffee, and whispered, I'm free. And for the first time in months, it felt real. The phone rang late one evening. Madison Blake. My thumb hovered over the answer button longer than usual. Finally, I swiped. Ryan. Her voice sounded fragile, tired. Madison, I said calmly. What's going on? I just needed to talk, she admitted. I didn't know who else to call. You called me, I replied evenly. That doesn't mean I'm responsible for your life. I know, she whispered. It's just, Daniel's business is failing. He's pushing me away. I feel so alone. I took a deep breath. This isn't my problem. Silence. I just thought maybe you could help, she said, voice shaking. I can't, I said firmly. I'm done fixing things for people who left me behind. But Ryan, No, stop. I'm listening, not solving. She paused. I heard her swallow. Jason, he's gone. He just disappeared when things got serious. I closed my eyes briefly. So he used you. That explains a lot. I didn't know what to do, Madison said, almost pleading. I thought I could manage everything. You thought wrong, I said quietly. You managed nothing but hurt people who trusted you. There was another pause. Ryan, do you hate me? I shook my head, though she couldn't see it. No. I don't feel anything for you anymore. Nothing? She asked, a little voice trembling. Nothing that matters, I said. I'm not invested in your misery. She laughed softly, though there was no humor in it. I deserved that, didn't I? You got what you earned, I said simply. Karma doesn't knock. It breaks doors. She didn't reply for a long moment. I could hear faint street noises in the background. I guess I understand, she said finally. I hope you do, I said. And I hope you figure out how to live with it. Her voice faltered. Ryan. Stop, I said firmly. This conversation is over. I'm not your crutch. Not anymore. There was a soft click. The line went dead. I set the phone down and leaned back in my chair, feeling nothing. For the first time, I realized how free silence could be. Madison Blake's problems, her lies, her heartbreak, they weren't mine. They never had been. I had given everything I could, and she had taken it for granted. That ended tonight. A week later, I heard from Mark Dawson. You won't believe what's happening with Madison. Try me, I said, sipping coffee. She's stressed, Daniel's business is collapsing, she's isolated. Friends vanished. Jason's long gone. It's falling apart naturally. I nodded slowly. That sounds like karma doing its job. Mark laughed lightly. You're calm about this. I learned something, I said. Pain doesn't need a reaction. Watching it unfold is enough. Wow, Mark said. That's new Ryan. Strong Ryan. I didn't smile. Not yet. I didn't need to. I wasn't angry. I wasn't grieving. I was detached. Free. Later, I sat on my balcony, city lights flickering below. I thought about all the nights I cried, all the times I begged for honesty. That Ryan, the one who trusted too easily, was gone. This Ryan, the one who didn't chase revenge, the one who didn't care about her happiness, he was stronger. Emma Collins called later. You sound different, she said. I am, I admitted. Finally, I am. That's good, she said. You've earned peace. I think I have, I said. Watching karma unfold, letting go, not needing to react, it's powerful. You sound happy, she said. Not exactly happy, I replied. Just unburdened. And that feels better than anything I've felt in months. We stayed on the line a little longer. I didn't talk about Madison Blake. I didn't need to. Her world was her responsibility now, just as my life had become mine. I realized then that freedom didn't scream. It whispered. It wasn't the satisfaction of revenge or the thrill of seeing her falter. It was the quiet certainty that I had moved on, that nothing she did could touch me anymore. I watched the lights below, thinking of everything I had lost, and felt nothing but calm. Karma didn't need my hand. The universe had its way and I had mine. For the first time in months, I didn't ache. I didn't long. I just existed, steady and free. And that was enough. I heard it first on the news. Daniel Brooks, fraud charges, embezzlement, business collapse. The headlines were relentless. Billionaire Daniel Brooks under investigation. Madison Blake tied to controversial deals. I didn't feel joy. I didn't laugh. I just listened. Mark Dawson called. Ryan, you hearing this? I am, I said. Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't matter? Mark asked. Madison, Daniel, karma? I shrugged. It's not my job to enjoy their downfall. Days passed. Rumors swirled. Friends abandoned Madison Blake. Jason Reed vanished entirely, leaving empty social media accounts and unanswered messages. It was all unraveling without me lifting a finger. That felt strange. Empowering. Free. Then came the knock at my door. I wasn't expecting her. I wasn't expecting anything. I opened it slowly. Madison Blake stood there, swollen belly visible under a loose dress. Eyes red, hair messy, trembling hands. Ryan, she whispered. I didn't know where else to go. I studied her carefully. She looked small, scared, desperate. What do you want? I asked calmly. I'm so sorry, Madison said, voice breaking. I never stopped thinking about you. I made so many mistakes. I held up a hand. Stop. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Please, Ryan. I need someone. I'm pregnant. I'm scared. Daniel, he's gone. Everyone left me. I felt the weight of everything we lost together pressing down on me. The nights I begged for honesty. The calls unanswered. The silence that destroyed me. I know what you're feeling, I said quietly. But this isn't mine to fix. Madison Blake sobbed harder. I was wrong. I should have. You should have, I interrupted, my voice calm but firm. You should have trusted me. You should have been honest. You should have valued what we had. I know, she whispered, shoulders shaking. And I hate myself. I never stopped thinking about you. For a moment I faltered. I saw her vulnerability and part of me, weak, naive, wanted to let her back in. Wanted to forgive. Wanted to erase months of pain with one touch. But I remembered the nights I spent crying on the floor, screaming her name. The humiliation, the betrayal. The life I had to rebuild alone. I shook my head slowly. Madison, I can't. Her face fell. Please, Ryan. I'm begging. Let me stay. Just talk. Let me. I took a deep breath, steadying myself. No. I understand, she said, voice trembling. I thought maybe. Thought maybe? I repeated softly. You thought maybe you could come back after everything? She couldn't answer. She just stared. Ryan, she whispered. I loved you, I said. I trusted you. I gave you everything. And you chose lies, distance, and selfishness. Madison Blake's lips trembled. I never wanted to hurt you. You did, I said simply. And you can't take that back. Tears streamed down her face. She looked at me one last time. I'm sorry. I know, I said. I closed the door gently. No slam. No anger. No scream. Just the soft click of finality. I leaned against the door, feeling the weight lift from my shoulders. That was my revenge. Not shouting at her. Not seeking justice. Not watching her suffer in public humiliation. My revenge was self-respect. My revenge was closure. I walked to the living room, sat on the couch, and exhaled slowly. Outside, the city hummed. I thought of everything I had lost, everything I had rebuilt, everything I had become. Madison Blake was gone from my life again, but this time, permanently. The betrayal, the lies, the heartbreak, they no longer held power over me. I had risen while she fell, not through vengeance, but through strength. I picked up my phone and called Emma Collins. Hey, I said. Ryan, she replied, a gentle smile in her voice. Everything okay? Yes, I said, smiling softly. Better than okay. Free. We spoke for hours, laughter punctuating the quiet, city lights shimmering through the windows. I didn't need closure from her anymore. I had closure in myself. I realized then that true power wasn't in revenge. It was in walking away, standing tall, and refusing to let anyone diminish the man I had become. Madison Blake's world had crumbled around her. Daniel Brooks' empire was gone. Jason Reed vanished. Karma didn't knock, it broke doors. And I had closed mine. For the first time I felt untouchable. Free. Alive. I leaned back in my chair, sipping coffee, and whispered softly to no one, this is mine. I am mine. And I am enough. And that was more satisfying than any moment of vengeance could ever be. Months passed, and the world I woke up to felt entirely different. I unlocked the door to my new office, the sign outside reading Carter Solutions. My name in bold letters. My work. My rules. Mark Dawson stopped by first thing. Ryan, this looks incredible. Thanks, I said, sipping coffee. It's steady now. Everything is under control. You've changed, Mark said, leaning against the doorframe. You're calm, confident. Like you finally found yourself. I smiled faintly. It's been a long road. Emma Collins walked in shortly after. Morning, she said, her voice gentle. How's the empire today? I laughed softly. Small empire, but growing. You seem different, Emma said, pulling out a chair. More present. I've stopped letting the past dictate me, I said. Stopped letting people's mistakes define who I am. Emma nodded. I can see that. You're steady, grounded. It suits you. We spent hours discussing plans, clients, and goals. I didn't feel the need to impress her. She didn't try to save me. We grew close naturally, comfortable in silence as much as in conversation. One afternoon, I ran into news about Madison Blake. Her life had collapsed quietly, Daniel Brooks disappeared, her friends gone. The headlines were less sensational than I expected. Madison Blake leaves city after failed ventures. I paused, staring at the screen. I didn't smile. I didn't feel anger. I didn't long. Mark leaned over my shoulder. You're not happy she's gone? I'm neutral, I said. I don't hate her. I don't love her. That part of my life is over. Must be freeing, Mark said. It is, I replied. I finally feel peace. Not because she suffered. Not because karma worked. Because I chose myself every day. Later that evening, Dr. Samuel Wright called. Ryan, how's it going? Are you maintaining the progress? I am, I said. I run my business. I'm calm. I'm focused. Emma and I are growing closer naturally. I'm choosing myself. That's the key, Dr. Wright said. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. Healing means choosing yourself every day. You've learned that, haven't you? I have, I said. I get it now. You're doing something remarkable, he said. Not everyone can transform pain into growth. I had to, I said. I had nowhere else to go. Emma called that night. Dinner? She asked. Sure, I said, smiling. Let's celebrate small victories. At the restaurant, I watched Emma laugh at a story Mark had told me earlier. Her laughter was soft and genuine. I felt warm, but not in the way I used to feel for Madison Blake. This warmth was steady, not consuming. It felt safe, comfortable. I like this, I said quietly. What? Emma asked. This peace. Not running, not reacting. Just living. She smiled, reaching across the table to rest a hand over mine. You earned it, Ryan. I didn't earn it by luck, I said. I earned it by refusing to be defined by what others did to me. By rising, not sinking. By choosing myself every day. She squeezed my hand gently. I can see it. You respect yourself now. Yes, I said. I respect myself now. That night, I walked home alone, city lights casting a warm glow on the streets. I thought about the past, the betrayal, the heartbreak, the nights I cried on my floor, the calls unanswered, the doors slammed. And then I thought about now. My office. My business. Emma's friendship. My steady confidence. I realized that respect for myself was the greatest victory. Not revenge. Not money. Not proving anyone wrong. Just respect. Dr. Wright's words echoed in my mind. Healing doesn't mean forgetting, it means choosing yourself every day. I smiled softly. I chose myself again today. And I would tomorrow. And the day after. The city hummed around me. I felt alive, calm, and free. I didn't need Madison Blake. I didn't need the past. I didn't need validation. I had built someone I respected. Someone steady. Someone whole. And for the first time I felt complete. I paused on my balcony looking at the lights, sipping my coffee, and whispered to no one, I am mine. And I am enough. For once I didn't ache. I didn't long. I didn't react. I simply existed, strong, calm, and free. And that was more satisfying than anything else I had ever imagined. I stood on my balcony, the night city lights flickering below like 1,000 tiny promises I hadn't yet claimed. The wind brushed against my face, carrying the faint hum of traffic, distant laughter, and life continuing in a world I had once let define me. I took a deep breath, steadying myself. Months had passed since Madison Blake had appeared at my door, desperate and broken. Since Daniel Brooks' empire crumbled. Since Jason Reed vanished without a trace. I had watched them all falter, but I didn't revel in it. That wasn't victory. Real victory didn't come from seeing someone else fail. It came from standing tall while everything around you collapsed. Mark Dawson had stopped by earlier today, looking impressed as usual. Ryan, you're different now. Calm, steady. Like nothing rattles you anymore. I smiled faintly. It's not about nothing rattling me, Mark. It's about understanding what's worth reacting to. I've lost so much, but I've gained more than I realized. Emma Collins had called this morning. Her voice carried that gentle warmth I'd grown to depend on, not in neediness but in quiet comfort. How's the empire? She asked playfully. Steady, I said. Growing. But the best part is, I'm steady too. You've changed, she said softly. You're choosing yourself, aren't you? I am, I admitted. Every day. That's the real lesson. I thought back to the nights I had spent broken, replaying messages that never came, staring at unanswered calls. I had begged for honesty, begged for truth, begged for the love I thought was unconditional. Madison Blake had taken my trust for granted. Daniel Brooks had manipulated and controlled. Jason Reed had vanished without a word. I had sunk under the weight of it all. But I didn't sink anymore. Ryan, Mark had said one evening, you're not bitter. That's impressive. Most people wouldn't handle betrayal this well. I don't feel bitter, I said. I feel liberated. Free from the chains of what people did to me. Free from the need to control their lives. Free to build my own. The freedom didn't come in an instant. It came slowly, one choice at a time. Running through empty streets, building my business from scratch, reconnecting with Emma Collins, not to fill a void but because it felt right. Listening without judgment, speaking without fear, standing without flinching. Choosing myself again and again. That was the work. That was the healing. I remembered the night Madison Blake called, panicked and broken, asking for help. I listened. I didn't comfort. I didn't attack. I didn't chase her or plead. I simply said, this isn't my problem. The words had felt strange at first, so final, so cold. But for the first time I felt power. Not over her, not over Daniel, not over Jason, but power over myself. I hear you, I had said. I understand you're struggling. But I've chosen not to be part of your chaos. The silence on the other end had been deafening. And that silence had taught me more than any argument ever could. Emma Collins had been there through it all, not rescuing me, not demanding, not judging. She just let me grow. Let me heal. Let me decide who I wanted to be. That calm, honest presence became my anchor. I thought about Madison Blake again now. She had moved away, her dreams shattered, carrying the consequences of choices she had made. I didn't hate her. I didn't long for her. I felt only quiet recognition that what we had once shared had ended permanently. The pain I had endured didn't vanish, but it no longer controlled me. Dr. Samuel Wright's voice echoed in my mind. Healing doesn't mean forgetting, it means choosing yourself every day. I repeated it softly. Choosing myself every day. That was the truth I had finally internalized. The betrayals, the heartbreak, the nights I cried alone, they were all pieces of a past version of me. The version who let others' actions define his worth. The version who begged for answers, begged for attention, begged for love that was conditional. That version was gone. I took a sip of coffee, watching the lights shimmer in the distance. I realized that revenge would have been hollow. Watching Madison Blake crumble, watching Daniel Brooks' empire fall, seeing Jason Reed vanish, none of that would have repaired me. None of it would have built the man I had become. I didn't need the pain of others to validate my strength. I had become strong through my own choices, through my own perseverance, through my own refusal to accept disrespect again. Ryan, Emma said in my mind, her voice like a soft tether, you've earned this. You're free. I nodded, even though she wasn't there in person. I had earned it. I had survived the worst version of love, the worst betrayals, the worst heartbreaks, and I had rebuilt myself. I straightened, leaning lightly on the balcony railing. The wind tugged gently at my hair, carrying the distant sounds of the city. I didn't feel loss. I didn't feel longing. I felt whole. Mark had asked once if I ever thought about Madison Blake in the past. I told him then, and I remind myself now, the past is a teacher, not a jailer. The mistakes of others, the heartbreak, the betrayal, they shaped me but they do not chain me. I am my own measure now. I looked down at the streets far below and whispered softly to myself, I survived. I grew. I chose me. And in that moment the city felt endless. The possibilities felt endless. I had risen from everything that sought to destroy me, and I stood unbroken. Closure didn't come from apologies or regrets from others. Closure came from within, from the understanding that my peace, my respect, and my life were mine to claim. I exhaled slowly, feeling the weight lift completely. The past existed, but it no longer defined me. My heart was steady, my mind calm, my spirit unshaken. I turned from the balcony, lights reflecting in my eyes, chest filled with quiet strength. My future awaited, bright and open. I had survived, healed, and become someone I respected. And for the first time in years I felt truly free. The city hummed below, indifferent and alive. And I smiled, not for the past, not for revenge, not for anyone else, only for myself. I had chosen me. And that was everything.